What is up, everybody? Malachi David back with your Week 18 Parlay Buddy free premium picks. We've made it. It's the last week of the NFL's regular season. Some teams have nothing to play for, while other teams have their entire season on the line this week. Before we get into this week's picks, I want to remind you that you can find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And you can also head over to parlaybuddy.com, where you can find various sports articles, the profitability calculator, daily fantasy sports tools powered by statshark.com, and you can also find the rest of the NFL and NBA premium picks. Now, without further ado, let's get into Week 18's picks. The first game we're going to look at this week is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. The line for this game has been set at 40.5. And on that line, we are taking the under. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have hit the under 11 of 16 times this year, and they've scored 21 or less points in 12 of 16 games this year. Their offense is one of the lowest in terms of points per game, and they've scored 2 touchdowns or less in 12 games. I know what you're thinking. Last week, yes, Tom Brady did find Mike Evans for 3 touchdowns, but honestly, the history has shown us that replicating a performance like that is rare, if not almost impossible. Tom Brady's put this team on his shoulders week in and week out, tried to carry him, but obviously Father Time always is undefeated, and with the injuries that this team has faced and as the season has gone on, they just haven't really found any offense that's clicked consistently. Their offense does rank last in the league in rushing. So without a run game, they kind of know that Tom Brady's going to be throwing the ball, so teams can key off on that. On the opposite side, the Falcons have hit the under in 10 games this year, and that includes their last 5. Their points per game production was already dismal at one point this season, but as Desmond Ridder has become the starter, it has actually gone down even more. They've been eliminated from playoff contention. They don't have a whole lot to play for this week other than pride and, saying that you beat Tom Brady. With that being said, we don't see a lot of points coming out of this game, and that is why on the line we are taking the under. The second game we're going to look at this week is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. The line for this game has been set at 41, and on that line, we are taking the over. The Cowboys have hit the over in 9 of 16 games this season, including 5 of their last 6. Their offense ranks second in the league in terms of points per game at 28.8, and their defense is one of the better in terms of points allowed at 19.8 points per game. The Cowboys have actually had a pretty interesting season. The last time they scored less than 27 points was back in October against the Lions. At that point in the season, they were 5-2, and the most points they had scored was 25. Since then, they have scored 40 or more points in 5 of their 9 games, as they have clawed their way back into the NFC East championship talk. The Eagles have lost a few games. The Cowboys have hung right there, and now they have a chance this week to actually win the division if everything comes out right. On the other side, the Commanders have hit the over 5 times this year and have only scored 3 touchdowns or more in 4 of their games. Their offense really struggles to get going. Last week was a prime example of that when they ended up being eliminated, much to the surprise of Ron Rivera. Started Carson Wentz. He threw 3 interceptions. Not that the team had a lot going for it to begin with, but that really just kind of stuck a knife into their season. They do not have anything to really play for other than Taylor Heineke. If he does beat the Cowboys, he'd be able to buy himself another pair of Jordans to match the Cowboys colors. But other than that, the Commanders don't have a lot to play for. We don't see their offense doing a whole lot. Their defense probably won't stop the Cowboys very much, and the Cowboys have the potential to hit the line just in their own rights at 41. And that is why on this one we are taking the over. And last but certainly not least, this game we are looking at is the Green Bay Packers versus the Detroit Lions. The line for this one has been set at 49.5, and on that line we are taking the over. The Lions have hit the over 10 times this year, including 3 of their last 5 games, and they have scored 25 or more points in 10 games this year. They currently rank 5th in the league in points per game at 27.1. However, their defense does rank 29th in points allowed with 25.7. They are a really good offense. They've been playing very well this year. In fact, Jared Goff actually is leading Aaron Rodgers in pretty much every passing category, which nobody would have ever predicted going into this season. However, their defense has been the main cause of them not being as efficient as they could be. This team could easily have 10 wins this year, but instead they are going into this week fighting for their playoff lives. On the other side of the ball, the Packers have hit the over 8 times this year, including 5 of their last 7. They really struggled to start the season. At one point in time, I actually put out on the internet that I did not think they would actually win a game after their 3 wins that they had at that point, and turns out that was not a good take to make, but I made it. I stuck by it. So, we get to where we got. The Packers do play better at home. They have scored 25 points or more and had 3 touchdowns or more in 8 of 16 games this year. They control their own destiny this week. They have the easiest way to the playoffs of the 3 NFC teams. All they have to do is beat the Lions. Aaron Rodgers tends to thrive in these NFC North matchups at the end of the season. He's done it to the Lions before. He's done it to the Bears. All he has to do is win an in. As for the Lions, they need to beat the Packers, but they also need Seattle to lose, and that game will be played in the time slot before them. So both of these teams are going to be coming out doing whatever it is they can to win, and in this kind of matchup, it's going to take a lot of points. And honestly, with Packers defense playing like it has been, the Lions will probably still score, but I don't know if they'll get the win. But that's not what we're here to talk about. The line for this one, 49.5. A lot of points going to be scored, and that's why we are taking the over. And with that, we are done with the Week 18 free premium picks from Parlay Buddy. It's been a heck of a season. We hope for some amazing games this week. Hopefully, if you take these premium picks and make these wagers, hopefully they work out for you. Again, you can find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, Twitter, and Instagram. Be sure to hit up our page over at YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video. And head over to parlaybuddy.com where you can find various sports articles, profitability calculator, daily fantasy sports tools powered by statshark.com, and more premium NFL and NBA picks. I'm your host, Malachi David, and until next time, have a good one.